Here's a mistake that we made early on in our marriage, and you might be making the same mistake. We're going to share 3 practical things you can do if you're making this mistake to improve it this week. Here we go.
Hey guys, I'm Claudia. This is my husband, John. We have been married for almost 8 years. We have 3 beautiful kids. We have moved a couple times. We have started some businesses. We've had some pets. We've just lived very full, blessed lives. God has been so good to us. But this blessed life has not come without frustrations. One of those frustrations has been not communicating our schedules. So that was something we struggled with early on. I feel like I always wanted to know what's going on, when is it happening? I need to know it all, you know?
And I was not used to having to communicate my schedule with anybody. I'm more of an independent, my personality, that's just how I am. I like my freedom. I don't like to be tied down. And I just want to do what I'm going to do. And early on in our marriage,
that did not work with me.
did
You
not
are
fly.
married,
Yeah.
we are one. We needed to communicate.
Yeah, so communicating about our schedules is the mistake that we made early on. So here are 3 practical things that we did to make it better.
So number 1, front loading. Front loading is a term I heard on a podcast a while back that has really helped us.
Mhm.
So what it looks like for us is we pick a day in the week where we're gonna talk about our schedules. I'm gonna let him know everything that's going on. He's gonna let me know everything that's going on in his week, and we can just front load it. Like, hey, this is happening. What do you think about it?
And normally it's a Sunday night. And if you're gonna do this, I would encourage you to do it at the beginning of the week. And maybe it's something you do every single week so you can kind of get in a rhythm of doing it. Maybe it's a Sunday afternoon lunch or dinner. For us, it's Sunday night on the way to church. And we can just tell each other all the events that we're gonna do that week.
Yeah, and whatever works for you. It could be a Saturday, whenever your week starts. So for us, that looks like that Sunday night drive on our way to church. I just turn over, I'm prepared. Hey, what is your week like? And he can tell me Monday this, Tuesday this, and I can just know, okay, this is what's coming. And same for me.
It's helpful for me to like think through my week, because guys, if you're like me, like I don't really think about my week until that Sunday night drive. But I do have a lot going on that week, and I know that in my brain. But it's helpful for her to be on the same page so that we can communicate all that, so we don't have any frustrations throughout the week. And so even little things, big things, just kind of talking through my week, it does help me. All of that front loading, and it especially helps her, so we can be on the same page throughout the week.
Yeah, I once heard on a podcast, again, that anything that causes a frustration is usually something that caught you by surprise. So if I'm just not surprised by it, I'm not going to be frustrated. Like I said, at the beginning of our marriage, if something came up and I didn't know about it, like, why didn't you tell me? I'm not prepared. I didn't even have kids back then, but I just wanted to know. I didn't want to be surprised. Like, we're going over so-and-so's house. Why? Like, you didn't tell me, you know, stuff like that.
There's also 2 questions that we ask when we kind of do this front loading time together. And one of those questions is, what are you most concerned about this week? And that lets her tell me what she's most concerned about, and vice versa. So what are you most concerned about? And then what can I help you with this week is the other question that we'll ask every Sunday night. And again, that just allows us to be on the same page about what each other is concerned about in the week. And then also allows me to be a team player in helping her, or her being able to help me. And that has really helped us just be on the same page as we head into the next week. The second thing that has really helped us is that we've kind of built into our life repeating events. And what that looks like is just we prioritize our faith and our family. So we know we're going to go to church on Sunday, we're going to go to church on Wednesday, and then we're going to have a date night on Thursday, and we're probably going to go over to family's house on Friday or Saturday. And having those repeating events in our week kind of just set up a framework for the available days that we can do something, or that something can come up, that we can go to a party, or if we have an empty week, that we can schedule something to do with the kids, or we can schedule an event on our own. But just kind of having that framework and those repeating events has helped us just kind of be on the same page about what we're doing every week.
And back to front loading, if we usually do have a date every Thursday night, or we do go to family's house every Saturday night, but if for some reason we can't, we've already front loaded that. We've already talked, hey, let's move this around because there's a basketball game on a Thursday and stuff like that.
So nothing catches us by surprise. You don't need to be frustrated about it because we already talked about it.
Number 3, write it down. All the front loading, all the repeating events will mean nothing if you forget about them. So for years I had a planner. That could look like a planner, or even John does a phone, a digital planner, a calendar, whatever that looks like for you, write it down. For years I had a paper planner. So again, on Sunday nights we're doing our front loading. I had my paper planner and I just write, okay, what are you doing on Monday? Oh, let me write it down. All of it. And I had already planned my week, so I was able to tell him my week. I've moved to a digital planner, but it's the same thing. You're just writing down everything that he's telling me. I can write down so I'm not surprised. So I'm not forgetting that he already told me that.
You'll remember from our last video where we said if you don't fill your calendar, somebody else will. And front loading and having regular events scheduled in will just help fill your schedule, fill your calendar with your priorities and our priorities. And one of those priorities isn't being frustrated at each other throughout the week. So I don't want anything to surprise us or pop up that we didn't talk about. And if it does, well, we already talked about our week. We know the events that are coming up. We know our scheduled events, and we can be on the same page about all of that. So making sure to get things in your calendar has been really important for us.
Thanks for watching. If this helped you, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped you. And if it did, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Better?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Woo.
So.